This world trains you to believe a very big, dangerous, and destructive lie. That lie is that every human being is based on goodness, that everyone is only suffering from misunderstandings, wounds, or emotional confusion, that if you act with enough patience, compassion, and love, you can reach anyone's heart. It's a story that we hear everywhere. From school to movies, it's a complicated facility. Because believing this lie makes us feel safe, that the world is understandable and just. But the truth is that some people have a moral vacuum within them. They have an emptiness behind their eyes. For them, that principle of humanity, that web of emotional wires that connects us all, is just a weakness, a system that they must understand but do not feel. And because they do not feel it, they can use it ruthlessly. These people make your empathy their weapon. They use your desire to fix them to strengthen their grip. When you react to their behavior, they accuse you of being too sensitive or of not understanding their past pain. They pull you into a game where the rules are always changing in their favor. Recognizing this lie is the first and most important step. Recognizing that evil exists, and that it doesn't always come in the form of nightmares. It often hides behind the faces of the most charming, helpful, and understanding people. Without letting go of this lie, you will always be stuck in the mannequins of your own mind, wondering what to do so that they will change. The answer is, they will not change. You have to change. You have to see. Manipulation isn't just playing with emotion. It's a systematic, subversive attack on your mental structure. It's sowing seeds in your mind that aren't your own, then convincing you that those seeds were sown by you yourself. This is the work of an expert artisan, whose goal is to bend your free will in such a way that you think you are free, while in fact you are following the path they designed. Their most dangerous weapon is gaslighting. It's not just lying. It's attacking your memory, your observations, and ultimately your intellect. I didn't say that. You always exaggerate things. You're misunderstanding me. These phrases are used like a cannon, destroying the walls of your faith fortress. They describe events in such a way that you are the one to blame. Then comes the guilt tripping. They blame your instinctive, legitimate boundaries or even your emotional response. If you really loved me, you wouldn't say that. Look how you forced me. This method makes you always apologize, always concerned. You begin to focus on your behavior, not their behavior. And the last step, giving back. One day they ignore you, make you feel small. The next day they shower you with gifts and love. This clutter keeps you in constant anxiety. You long to capture their moments of goodness, thinking that maybe that's what they are. But it's all design. This does not allow you to be balanced. You either stick to them or are willing to run away from them. And in both cases, control is in their hands. The deception is not simply to hide the facts. It is to build an alternative reality, a parallel world system where they are heroes. You are the problem, and every event confirms their theory. First level, simple lies. They tell lies about small things, promises, past events. But these lies are not because they have to speak, but because they can. Every lie is an expression of strength, a small win that proves that they can adapt your reality to their liking. Second, and more dangerous level, half-truths. This is the most effective weapon. They tell you 90% of the truth, hiding only 10% that changes the whole scenario. It makes you feel like you've got the whole story while actually giving you a carefully crafted narrative. When the truth finally comes out, they say, "I told you so." And technically they are right, but in reality, they deceived you. Third, and the most toxic level, the lies that are told about you to others. It's sabotage. They melt poison into the ears of your friends, family, colleagues. "I'm concerned about him. He seems very excited lately. I don't think he thinks well of you." These are silent, poisonous badges that cut down the roots of your support network. The goal is to isolate you, because only a lonely victim can be more easily controlled. When you finally try to defend yourself, you will find that no one is there to listen or believe you. They will have already cleared the field. Empathy is not just about feeling the pain of another. It is basically about recognizing that the other person is a separate entity, with its own feelings, thoughts, and experiences. A person who lacks empathy is unable to recognize that. In their eyes, other people are functional objects, instruments of pleasure, sources of comfort, or barriers that can be removed. You can see this lack in their eyes. When you describe a deep, emotional event about yourself. Their eyes become desensitized. They may speak the right words to answer, "Oh, that was so bad." But their voice has no warmth, no resonance. They immediately change the subject, often turning to themselves. "Well, it happened to you?" "Well, it happened to me." These people know how to pretend to be compassionate. They know that society expects compassion, so they express it. But it's a memory, a coat they make by looking at others, but there's nothing in it. They keep a record of your weaknesses, not because they want to help you, but because that information can be used later. The most obvious sign, a complete lack of remorse. When they hurt you, they never really apologize. Their sorry is always conditional. "I'm sorry you felt that way." Or they refuse completely and turn the situation around and put it on you. Because for true regret, you have to acknowledge that the other person has been affected, and they don't just acknowledge the other person as a real being. Love, companionship, mutual respect, these are all secondary. For a person with evil in his heart, the ultimate goal is always control. Life is a big chess game, and they want to make sure they rule every move. Even if they are sealed themselves, this control apparently begins in the guise of improvement. They tend to give advice on your decisions, your friends, your career, but these advices are actually orders. In case of disagreement, they use resentment, therapy of silence, or emotional distance. This is how to teach a lesson. The result of going against my will is unhappiness. Then they start to isolate you. They create doubts about those close to you. Your friend is jealous of you. Your family wants to control you. Their goal is to eliminate all sources of external reference to you so that they become the only source of your truth. A lonely mind is an easy target to control. Eventually, control comes down to your self-image. They tell you who you are. You're too sensitive. You can't make decisions on your own. I'm nothing without you. These narratives are repeated so often that you accept it as your identity. You become a person who follows their will, not because they force you, but because you believe you are worthy of it. This is the strongest form of slavery, slavery in which the slave believes he is free. These people do not look for random victims. They look for a specific type of person. They target empaths, that is, the most sensitive and empathetic people. People who feel the pain of others, who are willing to take responsibility for others, who want to fix them. These virtues, which are actually strengths, become weaknesses in their eyes. They target people who have an initial lack of self-esteem, perhaps past wounds, or a childhood where they found conditional love. Someone who already thinks, "Maybe I'm not good enough," is an easy target for them. They avoid people whose boundaries are strong. Those who can say no without hesitation. Those who reject self-doubt. And those who quit immediately under emotional pressure. Such people are difficult for them because their system of control does not work on them. If you've ever wondered why me, then the answer isn't that you're weak. Rather, it's because you initially had the qualities that fuel their system: empathy, loyalty, and a desire to find the good in people. They turned your strengths against you. It's not your fault. It's their skill. It's not just a bad relationship. It's a psychological addiction, sitting deep in the reward and punishment centers of your brain. There are 3 stages in this cycle. 1. Idealization. It's that honey-like cycle. They make you feel that you are the most special, sensible, loving person in the world. It's an intense emotional reward. 2. Diwalio. Disdain. Then they start to belittle, criticize, ignore you. They take back the love and approval they gave you. It's an emotional punishment. 3. Discord. Throwing. When you are completely destroyed, they can leave you. Or, when they see that you are really going, they go back to stage number 1, pulling you back to their side. This cycle makes you a bet. You get caught up in the uncertainty of what money will come out today. And this uncertainty is addictive. You are constantly trying to get the prize that is rarely found. It is like a slot machine for a gambler. On top of that, they assure you that you are the only one who understands them, that the world is against them, and that only you are their support. That sense of responsibility holds you back. You begin to consider leaving a betrayal. They've molded you into the role of a savior. And getting out of that role feels like a battle against your own identity. These people are perfect actors, but their masks sometimes get circled. These moments are temporary, quick, but if you keep your eyes open, you can see them. Reaction to loss of control. When something happens that is out of their control, A flash of anger or disdain appears on their face. They will immediately try to regain control of the situation. Treatment of others. Notice the difference between their treatment of you and their treatment of others, such as waiters, colleagues. Do they treat those who are unimportant to them with arrogance, ruthlessness, or contempt? This is their true face. Reaction to your achievements. When you achieve a personal achievement that is not attached to them, they do not express true happiness. They may ignore it, criticize it, or turn it around. You couldn't do it without me. When caught lying, when you catch them about a lie, they immediately become aggressive. They don't apologize. They accuse you of watching them, that you don't trust them. It's a defense mechanism. Eyes, sometimes, especially when they are thinking or feeling that you are not looking at them. Their eyes are completely blank. There is no emotion, no heat. It is an eye trauma that cannot be ignored. These signs trigger your body's knowledge. Your stomach twitches, your shoulders stretch. Your body is warning you, even if your brain isn't denying it yet. Trust these physical signals. They often recognize the truth faster than your consciousness. This battle isn't just about getting away from them. It's about getting out of the desolation they leave within you. The first and most important step, disconnecting completely and utterly. It's not just disconnecting physically, but emotionally, mentally, and digitally. They occupy a victory region in your brain, and every connection reactivates that region. Then, you have to reestablish your axis of reality. It's acknowledging that your observation was correct. Your pain was real. You weren't crazy. Repeat that to yourself, your friends, or a therapist over and over again. Every time you fall into doubt, write down what you know to be true. You have to rebuild your boundaries, which they destroyed. Start with small things. I won't eat this today. I'm not interested in this movie. Every small no strengthens your muscles of control. Go through this process of grief. You have not only lost a person, but also the hope that you kept in them. Celebrate his mourning. Anger, sadness, pain are all natural. Do not try to suppress these feelings, feel them. Finally, turn your sympathy back to yourself. You spent so much sympathy on them. Now is the time to spend it on yourself. Treat yourself with the same gentleness, the same patience, the same love that you would treat a dear friend. You are the most important project of your own recovery. Once you get out of that swamp, you're a different person. You're not the innocent, selfless person you once were. And that's a gift. Now you have the knowledge that no book, no lecture can teach. You have seen evil in its original form. You have observed the dark depths of human psyche. With this knowledge, you become invincible. You will no longer be an easy target for people like them. Your eyes can now see their masks. Your body can now feel their energy. You will no longer doubt your observations. This knowledge is your lifelong shield. This experience can make you not more rigid, but more granular. You now know how to demarcate with empathy. You now know how to be careful with love. Your goodness is now a choice, not a bid. There is a strength, not a weakness. Your story didn't end. It was just a dark chapter. But this chapter taught you the lessons you needed for the next, brighter chapters. Not only have you regained your freedom, but you have also gained a deeper power. The power that can only be in someone who has seen the darkness, and yet has chosen the light. Now you just have to decide, will you leave the next page of your story blank? Or will they write down what you were created for?